Hello and welcome back to Learn Penang Hokkien. My name is Timothy and you're watching a series of videos that teaches you to speak Penang Hokkien, the Hokkien dialect used in Penang as well as the northern part of Peninsular Malaysia. We are now into our 7th lesson. For a quick recap, in the first lesson, we learned intonation. In the second lesson, we learned pronouns. In the third lesson, we learn numbers. And then in the fourth lesson, we learn tone sounding. In the fifth lesson, we learn demonstratives. And in the previous lesson, which is the sixth lesson, we learn classifiers. And now, in the seventh lesson, we are going to learn how to use only one word. But this is a very important word in Penang Hokkien, so much so that it deserves its own lesson. The word I'm referring to is the possessive particle. In Penang Hokkien, there is only one word that is the possessive particle, and it is the word a. We are going to learn how to use the word a. A is in the citation form. In the citation form means that it is used at the end of sentences, but in instances where there are words that follows it, then it has to be in the sandhi form. In the sandhi form, it is pronounced as a. The difference is a is spelled EH2, whereas a is spelled EH3 but with a hyphen, because when it is in the sandhi form, it is always attached to the word before it. To teach you how to use a and a correctly, I'm going to split this lesson into 4 parts, and in each part, I will teach you one of the functions of a and a. And so, without further ado, let's continue to the first part. Hello and welcome back to Learn Penang Hokkien. We are in lesson 7 where we learn the possessive particle. And this is the first of 4 parts of how we use the possessive particles pronounced as a and a. Just a quick recap. A is the citation form. A is the sandhi form. Okay, the first function of the possessive particle is similar to the apostrophe s in English. We use apostrophe s to show possession. For example, this is John's house. John's house. In Penang Hokkien, we say as John A. Chu. John A. Chu has the John followed by hyphen EH3 and then Chu. So, hyphen EH3 is the possessive particle in the sandhi form. So, this is John's house. In Penang Hokkien would be Chile si John A. Chu. On the other hand, we can also say this house is John's. When we say this house is John's, in Penang Hokkien it would be Chile Chu si John A. When we say Chile Chu si John A, we end with A, which is EH2. When it is EH2, there is no hyphen and it is detached from the word John. You will notice that when there is a word that follows A, it is hyphenated to the word before it. But when it is on its own, it is not hyphenated. So, another example, that is Julia's pencil. In Penang Hokkien, hele si Julia a empit. And that pencil is Julia's would be Hele empit si Julia e. So you can see the difference. Now we are going to learn one word, which is whose. Whose in Penang Hokkien is chui chui as well as chui chui lang. They are almost interchangeable. You can say chui chui and you can also say chui chui lang to mean whose. So if you wish to say whose house is this, in Penang Hokkien it would be Chi Keng Chu Chui Chui Lang E, or Chile Si Chui Chui Lang E Chu. And if you want to ask whose pencil is that, in Penang Hokkien it is Hele empit si Chui Chui Lang E and Hele si Chui Chui Lang E empit. So this is the first function of the possessive particle, and now we'll continue to the second part. Hello and welcome back to Learn Penang Hokkien. We are in lesson 7 where we learn the possessive particle. Previously, in part 1, we learned things like John's house or Julia's pencil. Now we are going to use common nouns such as the dog's tail. When we say the dog's tail or the tail of the dog, we also use the possessive particle. In Penang Hokkien, the dog's tail or the tail of the dog is Cao e boy. Cao e boy. Cao is dog and boy is tail. So, Cao e boy means dog's tail. The dog's fur or the fur of the dog is Cao e mo. So, mo is the fur. And we can also use it as the leg of the table. The leg of the table is Toteng e ka. When we use the possessive particle, table comes first, then the leg. So it's almost like table's leg or dog's fur, dog's tail. So the possessive particle can also be translated into English with of the. Another example is the door of the house. The door of the house is Chu e mui. Chu is house, mui is door. So door of the house is Chu e mui. The window of the house is Chu e tanga. So that concludes the second part of our lesson on the possessive particle. I will see you very soon in the third part. Hello and welcome back to Learn Penang Hokkien, and we are on the third part of the lesson on possessive particles. In this third part, we will see how the possessive particle is used with pronouns, specifically personal pronouns. When they are attached to personal pronouns, they create possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives are like my, your, his, her, its, and so on. Let me give you a few examples. This is my house. In Penang Hokkien is Chile si wa e chu. Wa e is the possessive adjective. This is my house. Chile si wa e chu. This is your house. Chile si lu e chu. This is his house. Chile si i e chu. This is her house. Chile si i e chu. This is its house. Chile si i e chu. This is our house. Chile si walang e chu. Or Chile si wang e chu. Or Chile si lan e chu. And 这里是咱人的厝。This is your house and your in plural would be 这里是女人的厝。And finally, this is their house is 这里是伊人的厝。For general, 这里是伊人的厝 it is all female. And 这里是伊人的厝 if it's all neutral as in animals, the bird's house, for example. So 这里是伊人的厝。And finally, 这里是伊人的厝。伊人 is also their. So this is their house. So this is how you would use the possessive particle to form possessive adjectives. In addition to possessive adjectives, you use the possessive particle to form the possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns such as mine, yours, his, hers, and so on. And this is how it looks like. This house is mine. In Penang Hokkien is 这个厝是我的。This house is yours. 这个厝是你的。This house is his. 这个厝是伊的。This house is hers. 这个厝是伊的。This house is its. 这个厝是伊的。This house is ours. 这个厝是我人的。Or 这个厝是阮的。Or 这个厝是咱的。And 这个厝是咱人的。And then this house is yours, plural would be 这个厝是你人的。And finally, this house is theirs. 这个厝是伊人的。Or 这个厝是伊人的。And 这个厝是伊人的。And 这个厝是伊人的。So that's the third part of how we use the possessive particle. And I'll be back very soon with the fourth and final part of the use of the possessive particle. Hello and welcome back to the final part of our lesson on the possessive particle. In this part, we are going to learn the use of the possessive particle as an emphatic particle. Emphatic means it provides emphasis to a sentence, probably to inject some form of emotion into it. And this is quite common in Penang Hokkien, where we don't just make a statement, but we add some emphasis. We have seen emphatic particles before, such as hamid and hamid lai. Lai is used there as an emphatic particle. Or mzai le. So le here is the emphatic particle. Mzai don't know. Mzai le don't know. There are many emphatic particles in Penang Hokkien, and the only way to learn the nuances required to use which one is to get familiar with the language. So here we are going to learn the use of the possessive particle as the emphatic particle. The possessive particle, when used as the emphatic particle, appears at the end of sentence. For example, I bo kêu wa. He didn't call me. I bo kêu wa eh. I bo kêu wa eh. He really doesn't call me. That means when you say it that way, it means there's an injection of emotion, like you are unhappy that the person did not call you. I bo kêu wa, he didn't call me. I bo kêu wa eh. In order to translate the eh into English, the closest would be a colloquial form, such as Manglish. For example, I bo kêu wa. He didn't call me. I bo kêu wa eh. He didn't call me one. So the one at the end of a colloquial English sentence is how we translate a into English. So that concludes our study on the use of the possessive particle. In this lesson, you saw the 4 different ways that you can use possessive particle. with proper nouns, with nouns, with pronouns, and as an emphatic particle. So in our next part, we are going to do some exercises on this lesson. So I'll be seeing you very, very soon. Hello and welcome back to Learn Penang Hokkien Lesson 7 on Possessive Particle. And we have arrived at the exercise section of the video. So we are going to do some exercises in Possessive Particles. What we are going to do is we are going to understand sentences because it's vital for you in order to be able to master Penang Hokkien. You need to be able to understand when people speak Penang Hokkien. So in these exercises, I'm going to give you sentences in Penang Hokkien. You need to translate it into English. Translate the sentences into English based on the words that we have learned in this and in previous lessons. The first sentence is Hele si John e chu. Hele si John e chu. You can read the sentence below also. Hele si John e chu. Translate that into English. And the answer is, that is John's house. Sentence 2. Chile si chuchi lang e. Chile si chuchi lang e. Or in normal sentence, Chile si chuchi lang e. Can you hear that? Chile si chuchi lang e. And what's the meaning of that? Whose is this one? Whose is this one? The third sentence is Chui chui e cow. Chui chui e cow. And the answer is whose dog? Sentence number 4 is si wa e. Si wa e. And the answer is not mine. Sentence number 5 is Bo lang e. Bo lang e. And the answer is nobody's. Nobody's. Bo lang e. Sentence 6. Chuchi lang kêu wa e. Chuchi lang kêu wa e. And the answer is, who is it who called me? Or simply, who called me with some emphasis. Who is it who called me? Chuchi lang kêu wa e. Okay? Sentence number 7 is Chuchi lang e chiu piu lai. Chuchi lang e chiu piu lai. And the answer is, whose watch is this? Number 8. Wa boi tua le e. Wa boi tua le e. And the answer is, I want a big one. Or I want the big one. Wa boi tua le e. I want the big one. Sentence number 9 is Chile ang chia si wa e. Chile ang chia si wa e. And the answer is, this red car is not mine. This red car is not mine. And the final sentence is Chile si lu e kiêu. Chile si lu e kiêu. Chile si lu e kiêu. And the answer is this your brinjal? Or is this your aubergine? Is this your eggplant? Chỉ lẽ xìm xì lùi kiểu. So that concludes our lesson on the possessive particle. As a recap, the possessive particle is a in the citation form and a in the Sunday form. And in the Sunday form, it always has a hyphen attached to it to attach it to the word in front of it. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson in Learn Penang Hokkien. And if you do, please give this video a like so that YouTube will spread it to more people who are keen to learn our language. And subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Hit the notification bell so that I can update you every time I create a new video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye bye.